Ang bagong yugto ng ating himpilan, ang Sunshine Radio, ay SMNI Radio na! Patuloy kaming magbibigay ng mga balita, impormasyon, serbisyo at inspirasyon para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal. Ang SMNI Radio ay magsisilbing totoong boses ng bayan at maaasahan sa panahon ng pangangailangan. Handa ang SMNI Radio na maging kasama sa bawat yugto ng buhay ng mga Pilipino. Inyong maaasahan na patuloy na magsusulong ang SMNI Radio ng pagbabago at pag-unlad. Asahan ang mas pinaigting at mas pinagandang mga programa na ihahatid ng SMNI Radio. Hindi rin mawawala ang mga programang magbibigay inspirasyon at pananampalataya natin sa makapangyarihang Ama sa pamamagitan ng kanyang hinirang na anak, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy. Tuloy-tuloy sa pagkikinig at panonood dahil sa SMNI Radio, araw-araw kami magsisilbi sa inyo. Maraming salamat sa inyong patuloy na pagtitiwala. Nagsibya gikan sa Queen City of the South. Para sa Diyos at sa Pilipinas nating mahal, kini ang DYAR 765 SMNI Radio Cebu. Kapartner mo sa balita ug serbisyo.
Serbisyong kapartner ng bayan. Kapartner ng bayan. Ania ang tulamanong mo paila sa lain-laing ahensya, organisasyon, personalidad o individual nga andamugahin sa ilang serbisyong kapartner ng bayan. Atong sayron ang mataglaka nga nabuhat na ug angay pang buhaton alang sa ikauswag sa matag komunidad ug sa nasud sa kinatibuk-an. Serbisyong kapartner ng bayan. Aniya na ang atong kapartner nga makauban karon.
Alright, good afternoon mga kapartners, maayong hapon ka na itong tanan. Welcome, pag-usap sa itong programang Serbisyong Kapartner ng Bayan. Kamuna mino sa itong Sibianan, DYAR SMNI Radio Cebu. And of course mga kapartners, another productive day na po ang atong pag-ubanan. Kauban ng atong special guest. Live diri sa studio mga kapartners. O syempre, no, sa atong mga tigpaminawan karon na sa Tibuok, Central Visayas. O asa man, no, ang atong signal abot. Especially sa digital naman taron, no, sa atong naka-live streaming ta karon sa atong official Facebook page, ang DYAR SMNI Radio Cebu, ang SMNI Cebu Visayas, at the same time mga ato ang kapartner ng bayan Facebook page mga kapartners. Kinihigala kapartner Jim Ray Biosa, and of course mga kapartners, no, kauban na to atong co-anchor mga kapartners, walay lain si kapartner Vance Badilla. Kapartner Vance, maayong hapon, magandang hapon. Okay, ulit daw.
Ulit ba? Okay, maayong hapon po Cebu and magandang hapon po sa lahat ng mga tagapakinig natin at tagapanood globally.
Alright, syempre no, sa atong mga listeners karon, special ang atong adlaw, atong episode kay medyo kuan, no, medyo taas-taas ning kuan kanang hisgutanan. No, pang level up mga ka-partners, no, from the previous na tong mga guests, syempre no, sa mga government agencies, private sectors atong nakahinabi, no, diri sa ato ang programa. Karon medyo si tawag ani, no, medyo napapanahon ika nga, no. Syempre party kini, no, sa isa sa society nato nga diin mga partners we talk about legality, no, balaod, syempre sila ang atong dangpanan mga ka-partners, no. Og syempre kauban nato ang Integrated Bar of the Philippines Cebu City Chapter mga ka-partners, particularly ang ilang president mga ka-partners na diri sa atong studio live mga ka-partners. I-welcome nato ang ilang president sa IBP Cebu City Chapter, walay lain si Attorney Bernardino Amago IV. Sir, attorney, maayong hapon. Welcome.
Maayong hapon, kapartner Jimry, kapartner Vance, and then sa tanan natong tigpaminaw, maayong hapon kaninyo tanan.
Welcome attorney, no, sa atong studio, and of course syempre sa atong mga tigpaminawan karon, naminaw sila and they wanted also to impart, no, og madungagan nilang kaalam labi na sa in terms of legality, no, og syempre ang IBP Cebu daghan kinig mga programa, mga I think engagement ninyo sa communities. First and foremost sa atong mga tigpaminawan, can you tell us unsa ning IBP Cebu City chapter?
Okay, so the Integrated Bar of the Philippines Cebu City Chapter is an organization of lawyers. All lawyers in the Philippines are required to be members of IBP. And then, because the Philippines is so big, it is divided into several chapters. And in Cebu, there are 2 chapters. You have IBP Cebu City and IBP Cebu. So, we are a group of lawyers. Okay? It is a professional organization intended to elevate the legal profession, also help in the administration of justice, and to allow the IBP to exercise and to impart their responsibilities to the public more efficiently.
Kano saan ni siya na-establish, attorney?
It was in fact, it is stated in the Constitution, in the 1987 Constitution, that there should be an integration of the bar. But then, I understand that IBP started sometime in 1970 even. Okay, so even before the 1987 Constitution, there was already an integration of the bar.
Currently, pila ang active members karon sa IBP?
If Cebu City, ang active members would be about 2,500.
Ang dami.
Okay? So, there are a lot of lawyers, but then some of these may not be very, very active. They are just members of the organization, although we can already foresee that in the coming weeks and months, there will be more active participation from our members on account of the program set by the Supreme Court, which I understand we will also be discussing today.
Siyempre, daghang mga issues and concerns sa community, and of course, kauban ni sa operations sa kinatibuk-an sa ato ang komunidad. Unsay ratio karon currently sa talking about Cebu City, ha? Okay, ang population Cebu City karon is 1 million plus, no? So, I don't know kung kabalo familiar sa imo, attorney, sa pagkakaroon unsay ideal dapat sa ratio in terms of versus population
sa pagkatinuod lang ka partner Jemry, wala gyud hinamog istadihan kung unsa gyud ang unsay dapat na ratio, pero I think ideally there should at least be 1 lawyer per barangay at the very least, di ba? Para kung naamanggali sila yung mga problemang legal, na sila maadtuan unta, di ba? Kanang duol lang ba masangpit lang unta. Okay. But of course, there are more lawyers now in different barangays. But considering also the number of people living in Cebu City alone, as you mentioned, if it's already more than 1 million, that can only imagine there are only 2,500 of us. So how many do we have to deal with on a daily basis if all of them will have issues? But I suppose currently there is a right number of lawyers who can assist the community here in Cebu City.
Personal question lang, attorney, no? Kay syempre in our daily lives ba, di ba, sa atong mga decision making, asa nga punto nga musulod ang kinahanglan, di ba, mo konsulta ka sa ka legal expert sa inyo, no? Kung na kay mga decisions for family or for business or whatever issues nga naa ka sa imong kinabuhi, para syempre to safeguard, no, ang imuhang affairs in the future. So in what aspect nga musulod dapat ang role sa usa ka abogado?
My personal take on it is that if ever your actions will have consequences on other people or on the community, then I guess it is better or ideal, prudent for one to secure the advice, the legal advice of a lawyer. So if it requires you to involve the law, or that the law will be affected by your actions, then I guess that's when you should seek legal advice to ensure that you are not violating the law, or at least you're not affecting the lives of others.
Kay syempre as I've observed, no, kay nagatuyok ta sa mga LGUs, munisipyo, office sa governor, naginay tapad nga legal team, no, or attorney nga mo interpret or mo saysay, no, sa mga consequences or any other kuan. Pero sa mga community like us, mga common people, di ba? Very common murag ang gap ba, no? With that aspect, medyo prasaw ordinary nga tao, no? Murag talagsaon na jud kayo. Makaistorya lang ng attorney pag once na yung mga event, no? Pero sa daily lives ba murag layo jud, no? Pero that's the reality, di ba, attorney?
Yeah, I think also because there is a cost whenever you
Okay.
you seek the advice of a lawyer. I think
yeah.
that's one barrier and why people don't have to talk everything out with the lawyer whenever they have problems. And I guess also with the advancement of technology, you're able to seek the advice that you wanted from other platforms, digital or not. So maybe that. But then, if it's not cost efficient, then you don't really have to seek the advice of a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay, you can, because you can supposedly read the law. At the very least, everyone needs to have an understanding of what the Constitution of the Philippines is about and what it states. So if you'd ask me, if there's one thing that every person should learn, it should also be the 1987 Constitution, so that everyone can be reliable, okay, discussant, at least in issues involving our country, especially now, as you can already foresee, no? As you can see, I mean, what's going on. So maybe our basic understanding of the Constitution would have helped us understand also what's going on in our country. So I guess the reason why they don't seek the advice of a lawyer on a daily basis, because again, because of cost, because lawyers also have to earn their keep.
Yes,
diba?
of course.
Yes.
Okay, Miss Vance,
Oo.
do you have other questions?
Kasi ako, I'm more on the tech side. I'm more on the disruptive effect of technology. So, ang itatanong ko is, kumusta na po yung, di ba kasi the practice of law is a knowledge-based business. Profession. Ayaw ng Supreme Court ng business. Although sa ibang bansa, attorney, di ba, parang okay yung ganun. Pero dito, it's a highly regulated profession. What can you see in the near future for lawyers? Like, for example, will there be tasks that will be automated? Or will there be assignments or roles? Like, for example, if I'm your junior associate, would I be replaced by automation or ganon? Kasi madali nang gumawa ngayon eh. Parang in as little as before, I used to remember my dad makes pleadings parang mga, lalo pag appeal sa Supreme Court, parang 5 araw, ganyan. Pero pag ngayon, parang mabilis na kasi meron ng legal research na automated. So how do you see
I
the
think
future?
partner Vance, you're right that it's really where legal research is, that lawyers may have assistance from technology, and because of that, because of this technology, artificial intelligence and the likes, has hastened the way lawyers are able to do their work. So if there's one thing that could probably be replaced in a particular law firm or in a legal work environment, it would most likely be the legal research part,
The legal
because you may not need as much as you normally need without the help of technology. But the question that will have to be asked probably is, will it replace the lawyer? My take on the matter is that it cannot replace the lawyer.
It will
First,
never.
because of the human emotion you
Yes.
place into writing your pleadings, into requesting before the court,
Yes.
pleading before the court. So that part of the legal practice cannot be replaced. Also, the matter of confirming whether the interpretation of the law set by technology is correct or not is something that the lawyer still has to do, because of the training that a lawyer undertook in law school. This particular training allows the lawyer to make decisions and to discern what is the proper interpretation of the law, or at least what can be acceptable interpretation of the law. Because while you can get your opinions from AI, from whatever digital platforms, if you do not have the legal training, you can never really be sure if that is actually correct or proper, or if at all that is something sound. Okay, in relation to the problem that you need. So I guess while it has helped the lawyers, it has assisted the lawyers in making their work faster and easier, technology remains to be a tool. And like any other tool, you can always use it for good or for bad.
Yeah.
And this one is determined by the person himself or herself. So in that case, the lawyer remains, because the lawyer will still have to be the one to make use of these
Yes.
tools.
Attorney, if the lawyers are already onto that, like their work will be like more convenient, more speedy, ganon. How are the courts adapting? Like for example, will we see a digital court where because I see that now there is like a e-filing or e-payment of dues or whatever. Would we see a day that even the evidences will be like, you know, produced with the help of like technology and
There is already for several years now, and I think it just came to the fore because of the need to still continue working during the pandemic, that the use of technology is highlighted, and what it can and how it can supposedly facilitate the processes in the legal system. So as mentioned, we already have e-filing,
Yeah,
we have
e-filing,
e-payments, there's even e-notarization.
E-notary,
That
yeah.
is
Yes,
the
yes.
these are things that are currently ongoing. So we can already foresee that the Supreme Court's move is to allow technology to be part of the entire processes. So if the question is it possible for us to present evidence digitally? In fact, during the pandemic, you present your evidence
Yes.
online, which means that there has got to be a way that the courts are able to check on your evidence the way it does with the paper documents.
Physical, yeah.
And so electronic evidence is already accepted under our current legal system. There's already a rule. There are already rules in
Yes.
relation to e-evidence.
Yes.
Just like how electronic documents, electronic data message,
Yes.
e-signatures
Yes.
are accepted in commercial transactions. Documents, evidence for that matter, I mean, can already be presented even if they come in the form of electronic or
Yes.
digital.
So, attorney, you mentioned that technology or AI is a tool which could be used in the good side or in the bad side. And considering that everything is like going to the digital way, and then we see deep fake and misinformation or what sort of things that people may use to fabricate evidence. Do you think the court is now equipped with, you know, identifying which is the like actual or what, or lawyers make lusot kung mag-produce sila or mag-fabricate sila ng mga evidence which are technology enhanced or something?
My personal take on the matter is that we're not yet 100% capable of discerning
Yes.
whether a particular document or a
Yes.
particular evidence
Yes.
is not fabricated or could be technology enhanced.
Yes,
Okay,
technology
I think that particular discipline requires much improvement. But on the basic types of evidence, like the document you present in electronic form, it's not as easy as just presenting it at court. This is, you can look at the text. This is the text that, or the SMS message that you want to present as evidence
Yes.
is not readily accepted, it doesn't mean that it has probative value. The determination of its probative value follows a particular, actually stringent set of rules.
Yes.
Like you have to ensure that that is preserved in its original form,
yeah.
which means that you have to ensure the integrity,
Yes.
the reliability, which goes into who are the people who has access to this particular
Yes.
evidence.
Yes.
So it goes into that. And then its capability of being presented. So which means that if it's a digital form in your computer, you have to bring the computer yourself itself. You have to bring the computer itself, you have to bring the cell phone itself, and all of this. I think the current law has set the correct, and I think at least the sufficient form or sufficient safeguards,
Yeah.
okay, to allow that certain evidence has probative value or could be truthful on account of these conditions. So I guess for now we can rest assured that our courts is able to determine the reliability, the truthfulness of a particular evidence, its probative value. But if it gets very complicated, as mentioned,
Yeah.
these deep fakes, I don't think our current court personnels are equipped to do that. Although I'm sure that the Supreme Court is trying to enhance the capability of its personnel as well, no, to adapt to the changes in technology. The same is true for law schools.
Yeah.
The lawyers are already, future lawyers
Yes, the future
are
lawyers.
also being exposed to these technological advances. Although there cannot be a specific course intended for that particular matter as
Yeah.
of now,
Yes.
you can make yourself more relevant in the current times by undertaking trainings yourself. So I guess that's where your advantage could be if you're a lawyer equipped with the knowledge of the current technological advancements.
So let's go to the like IBP Cebu City, sir. What are the discussions when it comes to the future practice of law among the members, especially you are at the helm of the organization?
Okay. Now, IBP requires us if you're a member of the IBP, it requires you to be involved in legal reforms. And so we also are required to ensure that competence of our lawyers are updated. So from time to time, we actually hold discussions in relation to current legal reforms and advancements. Like, in fact, most of our discussions now happen online.
Online.
Okay, so that is already using technology in
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
Now, also in the way we serve the community, we already make use of platforms, digital platforms, in securing information from our target clients, no? And this is kept also in electronic form, so we're able to get summary of the information needed through technology. Now, in terms of specific discussions, in the chapter of
Yeah.
IBP, currently, from time to time, it comes out. Okay, someone brings it up that, hey, with this new technology, how are we able to move forward? So, the common sentiment is you have to keep yourself updated. You need to train yourself. You need to learn how this technology works.
Yeah.
So, just like how we are taught in law school to make use of all available tools in your
Yes.
study,
Yeah.
as lawyers, we also have to make sure that we are maximizing the available tools as well. And so lawyers are exposed to the advancements in technology. In our MCLEs, there's always the emphasis on artificial intelligence, on digital age, because we are in the current we are at the cusp of changing, 'di ba? Sophisticated
Yeah. Sophisticated.
tools and technologies. And so it's important that in trainings involving lawyers,
Yeah.
we inject
Mhm.
matters of this AI tools and related related tools as well. So the discussion always touches on it from
On-
time to time.
yeah.
And from time to time, it touches on the matter, and we're keeping ourselves abreast of these technological tools.
So there are a lot of, I mean, not a lot, not quite a lot, but there are vendors of legal tech.
There are, in fact, because of e-notarization,
Yes.
there are now there are a lot of companies wanting to partner
Mm.
with the chapters of the IBP in relation to facilitating
Mm.
the extension of this particular service. Me personally, I have not applied for e-notarization yet, but there is an ongoing discussion among my peers on how they can apply for e-notarization so that their services can be made available to a wider and broader range of clienteles. And I guess it's a good thing. It's a step towards um, a good direction in the sense that this will help more people because it reaches more people. So
Sir, I would just like to ask, it's okay if you won't answer. Does MCLE discussions cover also the economies of practice or just learning the skill and upskilling?
um, most of the topics involved in MCLE, this mandatory continuing legal education, are developments in the legal practice,
Yes.
which normally involves the laws that are recently
Yes,
passed, the
yes.
jurisprudence that are recently promulgated by the Supreme Court. But then there's the aspect of how your practice can be improved. So sometimes, although not necessarily in MCLE, in programs of the
IBP.
chapter, they include the art of billing. So part of that, how to start up your firm, how to start a firm. I mean, how to start your legal practice. Also, in the discussion involving possible new fields of practice,
Yes.
some of the emphasis includes what are the economic benefits.
Correct.
Although, because as you've mentioned, here in our jurisdiction, the understanding is that the legal profession is not a business
Yeah.
undertaking,
Yes.
but a vocation. There is really lesser emphasis on the economic aspect of legal practice.
Yeah.
Okay, but then let's not deny the fact that
Yeah.
we still have to live. And so,
Exactly,
in order
exactly.
to sustain our living,
Yes.
we need to earn as well.
I think this is my last question, sir, regarding the practice of law. We see that there are firms in Manila that go countryside. I mean, expand on the countryside. Perhaps they have, saturated clientele in Manila, and then they're going or teaming up with firms on the countryside. What's your um, feedback on that? Like, what's
Like,
your insight?
should we allow this to happen or not? At the end of the day, it's a matter of building trust with your client, with your community. So regardless of how many lawyers there may be in a particular area, if you're able to establish that you have competence, you have integrity, you are reliable, then I guess the field is free for all lawyers. So it's a matter of how you are able to maintain your good name in as far as the clients are concerned. So considering also that there remains to be individuals in a lot of areas in the country that have no access or at least limited access to lawyers,
To legal,
it
yeah.
may be a good thing that lawyers from bigger cities will now go practice or then extend their practice to areas where there may be lesser number of lawyers. So my take on it, just like any other undertaking, although we would like to believe that this is not a business venture.
Yeah.
You have to provide, you have to extend your service where it is really needed. And if the community sees that your new offering is better than the rest, then that means that the rest will have to improve also their service. So
So
I-
it can
it's-
be
it's
an
still
opportunity,
both-
not a threat.
yes, it is a double-edged sword
Yeah,
in the
it's-
sense,
yeah,
but
yeah.
then you can always look at it on the bright side
the
that it
brighter
gives
side.
better services to the public. It helps the public in the sense that there are more lawyers who can help them. So I guess I guess that it is a good thing for me. It's
Yeah.
something that you can still use to your own advantage.
Attorney, what's the most dense part of practice in IBP Cebu City? Like most of your members are corporate,
Litigators. Most of our just like any I think any other areas in the country aside from the capital, the bread and butter is litigation. So both criminal and civil. So it's not so good a picture to paint that we thrive in the advent or in the advent of problems of
Yeah,
others,
yeah.
but that's the reality of it. Lawyers are needed whenever there are issues, and most of the issues actually happen or at least being raised in the courts, and so there are more lawyers who are into litigation then.
I was thinking of you saying there are more in-house counsels in Cebu than litigators, but I was
It's not. I think, at least is my perception, there remains to be more litigators
That's
in
interesting.
Cebu, at the Cebu
So,
City also.
it means, attorney, na mas lucrative ang in terms of, economic wise. Okay. Mo nang i-prefer nila diyan na lang sila practice.
I guess because they have access to it. Okay, it's easy to go to court because you know that there are, or you can look at it the other way, that lawyers can see their practice easily because of the presence of courts, which are accessible. Okay, so your perception really is that, and this is also how you are introduced in law school, that your
Yes.
practice, because you're reading cases after all to enhance your legal knowledge, you always believe that lawyering is about going to court. Okay. Although currently it has changed in the sense that people are now introduced into the concept of arbitration, that is still actually part of litigation
Yes,
practice.
yes.
So there are a lot of lawyers, instead of advising their clients to go to court, they instead go into mediation. So part of the process, in fact, in courts include mediation.
Yes.
So lawyers, while they go to courts, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going there before the courts and litigate all these legal issues. They help also in negotiating for a compromise.
Oh.
And that sense is still part of litigation practice. So my perception remains that there are still more lawyers in that practice, not necessarily because it is more economical, but because maybe that's how lawyers are trained in law school to
Yes.
become part of the legal
Yeah.
system through the
Yeah.
courts.
Yeah.
All right, I would like to go back to your as president of IPP Cebu City. May I know on say mga reforms nga imuhang under your watch,
Well,
attorney?
I during my term, the Unified Legal Aid Service was introduced, or at least has become effective. So it became effective January 2025, and my term started April 2025. So from the previous president, we were already introduced to the possibility that there will be an ULAS requirement for lawyers. So because of this, we have to ensure that our members are given the opportunity to comply with their ULAS requirements. So, under the national president, Attorney Alan Panolong, they introduced through the assistance of the legal aid National Center for Legal Aid, they introduced this initiative called Lawyer of the Day Initiative, or LODI. We call it LODI, where members of the chapter are able to sit either in the IBP office, or in the case of Cebu City, aside from our IBP office, they also sit with the Department of Migrant Workers office, DMW, where they provide legal aid service for free, okay, to qualified beneficiaries.
For a day, sir.
For a day. Okay, so they render, there will be 3 shifts there, and
Okay.
every shift, a particular lawyer is assigned. Okay, 2 lawyers at most in a particular office. So that's an initiative that I think is a good reform, considering that we don't have to, the community need not wait for a legal aid activity to be held
Yeah.
in a particular day. They can just go to the IBP office, they can go to DMW and seek legal advice for free. Okay?
So it
So
has become more proactive, sir.
in that sense, so in the coming days, although we've always been in partnership with the local government unit of Cebu City in providing their caravan of services to a lot of communities in the city, we are in the process of applying for or seeking the accreditation of our outreach program and legal aid mission, so that it will also be credited for ULAS, because lawyers
Oh,
need to comply with
Render.
this.
How many hours?
60 hours
per
per
year?
lawyer on a 3-year period.
Oh, on a
So from
3-year.
2025 to 2027, all lawyers in the country, subject to certain exceptions provided under the rules, will have to render at least 60 hours of
It's like
services.
20 hours per year.
Yes,
on
although
an
you can spread,
average.
if
Yeah.
you can spread it out, or you can do it 60 hours if you
Oh,
can
yeah.
in just 1
Yes,
year.
yes.
Okay.
Like, it's an additional to the MCLE.
Yes, so
attorney.
in addition to your MCLE, which is your continuing legal education requirement, you also have to render this legal aid, pro bono legal aid service. Although portion of your hours in legal aid, in pro bono legal aid under ULAS can be credited for your MCLE compliance. Supposedly it's 15,
Yeah.
so we are required 36 units
36.
for our MCLE in a 3-year period.
Yes.
60 hours for ULAS. So if you're able to complete your 60 hours, you can get 15 hours
15.
credit for your
you
MCLE. So only
need, like,
have to comply about
21.
21.
I would like to add also, attorney, okay, since that program or ULAS is syempre, mainly is to serve the community, no? And you've mentioned about a while ago na we're going to reach out all those areas na di yun makaadtuan, but with the mention of technology in medicine, we have online consultation. Pwede ba na siya, is it possible na pwede i-online na lang na legal consultation with that kind of services that
Yes, there's no prohibition under the law to render your consultation, legal aid service, or your legal services online. But then we also have to understand, when these are remote areas, the people living there may not have access to the technology. So we visit the area ourselves, and through the help of the LGU, private individuals, NGOs, and other government offices, we're able to go to these areas, the remote areas, even during the calamities. We also extended help to the affected areas.
do you have numbers of services nga na-render na ninyo with that
What do you
one.
mean numbers, ka-partner
Total
Jemry?
Total
beneficiary
of,
or partial beneficiary.
yeah,
Honestly, I cannot. There is a record of this in our office, but I did not bring with me the records
So
of
yung
how
term
many
yung-
beneficiaries.
yeah.
We're required to make a report
Mm.
of the beneficiaries of our services. So there is a record of this and how many have been served because of the services rendered by the chapter. So maybe ka-partner Jemre, I'll be able to give you an update once we are able to consolidate all the reports. But I'm sure it's by the thousands
okay.
now.
Nag-start kayo, attorney, no? This year lang?
Last year.
Last year. So far,
2025.
unsay mga na-experience niyo mga big challenges na during your presidency?
The biggest challenges are the tragedies because of last year, diba? There was earthquake, there's also the Baguio Tino.
Yes,
So
yes.
it has become very challenging. Also, we need to help the courts because if you remember during the earthquake, the court of Cebu City
The Kimunda
was
Medyo-
affected, and so
okay.
they have to transfer. So we also have to help
okay.
in the facilities of the court during that time. The controversies involving the country, we have provided avenues for discussion in relation to anti-corruption. We held a Pakiglang Bigit, a dialogue on anti-corruption involving a lot of stakeholders. The students mostly, because it's easier to gather them.
Yeah.
Although we did invite from different offices, the ombudsman, so a former fiscal, and then a former COA director. We involve them in the discussion because we know that these are supposed to be the offices that will go after corrupt individuals. So there's that.
That's right.
And then legal aid was continually conducted during even up until now. So in addition to our Lodi, we also have to emphasize on membership care because while we help the community, our members also
Exactly.
need help considering how stressful the
Yeah.
profession is. So we gave them opportunities to enhance their mental wellness as well through sports.
Super
So
burnt
all of those are also
Fun runs.
included. Fun runs.
Yes.
There are fun runs,
Diba?
although currently
May
there was a
upcoming
fun
kayong
run that is national initiated in the sense that it's the IBP National, which required us to hold a fun run. But there's also a fun run that the chapter will also has sponsored. We intend to hold one. It's not really a fun run that's very intense. It's going to be a sunset crawl. To involve the family of the lawyers and the public also if they want to join. So we're planning to
That's
do that
nice.
also. Again, to ensure that our members are also taken care of because sometimes we
mentally
forget.
healthy dapat.
Sometimes we forget them. The one providing the service to the community
Exactly,
is in need of so much help.
Of course, since nag-history tayo naman gitag technology, I'm pretty sure na may istoryan man gyud mo tong mga medyo aged or medyo let's say ancient
Mature.
lawyers no. Pero-
Seasoned. We call them
seasoned.
seasoned lawyers.
Seasoned.
Yes.
Compared today na medyo engaging na ang public through of course through social media na kanya-kanyang advantage ba ni siya nga kuan sa sa society ba na medyo engaging na ang public, gusto na nila makiistorya about sa
discussion.
current issues. Well, you talk about corruption and everything issues sa local. Compared sa una kay exclusive lang, di ba? Wala tay technology. So ang mag-istoryahan na lang is lawyers ra gyud, mga officials, pero the community itself, ang tao, common tao, wag gyud siya iya ka na tong iyang
venue for
comment,
the-
no?
Sobrang
Pero
involved na nila.
right now maka-express na gyud sila.
Yeah. As I said, I always look at the technology or any tool as a force for good or a force for evil. So, in the sense that people are able to participate in the discussion, that is a very good point. Okay, and that's a step towards a good direction. But as to whether they're saying things that are correct or or most of them are relying on non-verifiable information, that's the difficulty there. So I guess my take on this is that the platform are there for you to express your opinion. It's just that you also have the responsibility that goes with it. So your use of the platform, a good thing, but it has to be tempered by kindness, respect. Because after all, you're talking not just to a single person who may understand you as a person, your character, but to somebody else, to a stranger you don't even know. Now, also, you have the responsibility to verify the information you bring
Yeah.
out to the world. Because if it can be accessed by a lot of people, you putting information that are not right is adding to the wrong information that people are also getting. So, I guess the part of the people getting involved is right. But the part of them just saying whatever they want without much thought
Yeah.
and without verification is really, really bad for the country.
And I think those people will be needing lawyers soon.
Because of whatever they're
Yeah.
saying.
Sir, this is, I think, I've been holding on to this question because I don't know what will be the impact if I ask you this question. There is a certain, like, pattern going around that is, they say that the weaponization of the law. So, for example, I use the law as a weapon to prejudice the rights of other people. And then those people or any other organizations for that matter would like sue me or bring the case to the court. What happens when it is reversed, or those kind of stuff, like, okay, if I use this particular law to prejudice the rights of others, ano yung balik sa akin nun someday?
Well, we can look at it from the perspective of a criminal case. So, if you file a case against someone and there really is no legal basis for filing such a case, you can be sued for malicious prosecution. So, in the same way that you're using the law in order to prejudice someone, that someone can also use the law
Yes.
to prejudice you if they need be,
later.
or at least to ensure that justice is served. They can also make use of the law. It works both ways. So it's not something that you can just brandish, di ba? To your benefit.
Yeah.
It really, the same way that you are given the right to sue, other people also have the right to sue you. So it's a matter of how fast you react, your access to resources. And I guess that's where the problem is, because those who have more resources are making use of the law in order to prejudice someone.
Yes.
Okay, you can look at it from the perspective of politics,
Yeah.
the way some people are able to take out their possible oppositions because of suing, because of the legal actions
Yes,
that
legal
they take against against their opponents. So there is difficulty in the sense of balancing justice in that respect. Because if someone has more resources, then of course he or she will have the advantage in that respect. But supposedly, the law is there in order to ensure that those who have less in life will have more in law. That's really the concept of it. So I guess that's where the government is needed. We have the public attorney's office in order to help those who are indigents in raising grievances before the courts. IBP is extending legal aid services to ensure, again, that those who have lesser access or limited access, no access to legal services, can also be assisted. So these things are already in place. But we have to face the reality that we can only do so much. There's always a limitation to the services that lawyers are able to give. I guess it remains that those who have more resources are still able to use the law to their advantage. So that's just it. So I guess we'll just hope for a better world where everyone will have equal access to resources so that we will not have this particular situation anymore.
Okay, before we end, siguro, Miss Bunch, no, this is my last question before mag part ta. Historically, Philippine bar is known as relatively low passing rate, di ba? Pero last year, 2025, medyo taas siya, no? I think 48 point something % ang passing rate compared sa previous one. Personally, attorney,
What's my take
unsay
on this?
nakita nimo ano nganong naingo ani nga changes? Is it daghan na ka-interest sa balaod nato?
Honestly, my take on it, and I am a professor of law also. My take on it is that before, your access to jurisprudence, to the law itself, is limited. In fact, very limited for those outside Metro Manila. Because then the Supreme Court is there. So
Yeah.
they'll have the Congress is also there. So they know the law first, they know the jurisprudence first. But with the advent of technology, this has leveled the playing field, the field of legal education. So that now, more people have easier access to cases, to jurisprudence, to laws. And so if you just take the time to read, you'll have more time now compared to before when you have to ensure that you get a copy of the book.
Yes.
Students have become more knowledgeable, not just in Metro Manila. And so I guess if you look at also the statistics, a lot of people coming from schools outside of Metro Manila have better performances now because of technology. So am I saying that the bar exam is not as difficult as it was? You can never really tell, honestly. The bar exam that you take is your journey, your own perception of how difficult it is cannot be questioned.
Yeah.
So I guess the public should not view the result of the bar exam as indicator of it being less stringent, less difficult. What it should look at instead is the fact that there are more lawyers who can provide more services, and they've become more law students are more competent now on account of the broader access to legal knowledge.
Naabay factor kaning pag-regionalize sa bar exam kay since 'di ba sa una exclusive lang gyud sa Metro Manila karon regionalize na.
Yes, I think it really has a great impact because then when you are so stressed in having to source funds just to go to Manila, stay there for at least a month,
Correct.
now you don't have to think of that. So your support system is readily available compared to when it is only centralized in Metro Manila. So yes, economically, emotionally, it's better that it is regionalized.
Thank you very much, Attorney, no, sa questions. Anyway, we don't have enough time. Siguro, is your parting message sa atong mga listeners, sa future lawyers, sa mga students karon na naminaw pod nga I think ang ilang future diha pod padulong. So, may advice nimo sa ila, or sa may message,
Well,
Attorney?
just allow me first and foremost to promote that we provide legal aid services to the public through our through our IBP office. So we have the a lawyer of the day initiative. So I guess you can maximize the opportunity by visiting our office and also the Department of Migrant Workers, where we have lawyers sitting on a daily basis from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, as a parting message to future lawyers, it's always an advantage to know the law, you are least likely to be bullied, to be affected by actions of others because you know the law can protect you. Also, your knowledge of the law could be used for the service of others. So if that is something that you would like to pursue, then by all means, join the legal profession. You are very much welcome. You would be a good and if not a better member of the IBP that can serve the community. Now, for all the listeners, while the law can be used to disadvantage another, primarily it is created to help someone who is oppressed. So we just need to take time to learn what the law says, and if you can have access to legal services, please do so that we can prevent situations where someone is oppressed because of the law. The law is there to help you. After all, equity follows the law.
Thank you, Attorney. Mga kapartners, no? Attorney Bernardino Amago IV. Attorney, asa gani ang office sa IBP Cebu City?
Our office is at DA Compound, M.
Okay.
Velez Street, Guadalupe, Cebu City. So, it is next to the Department of Justice building.
Okay. Ombudsman to, diba? To across?
Ang ombudsman
Okay.
is there.
Okay.
Saan yung law office niya, attorney?
My law office is in Ramos Street.
Okay.
Cebu City.
Alright, attorney, salamat kayo sa imong time, no? At least personally napukoy na kutlo nga mga pagtulunan, although syempre knowing, no, pinakalisod gyud nga examination isang bar examination in the Philippines. Miss Vance, parting words?
Marami pong salamat sa pagtutok po sa amin. Hanggang sa uulitin po. Thank you so much.
Alright, adri nagtapos mga kapartners ng atong programang serbisyong kapartner ng bayan. Of course, kauban nato sa technical si kapartner Philips de la Serna, sa kinitigbuk ang management sa SMNI, si Ma'am Eileen, ang atong manager, ug si Sir Marlon, ang atong president mga kapartners. So, adri nagtapos ang atong programa kinahigala kapartner Jim Ray Biosa. Ang Diyos manalangin kanatatan.
Maukadto ang tulumanong serbisyong kapartner ng bayan. Ubani kami ninyo sa sunod na higayon. Matag Lunes hangtod Biyernes sa susamang oras, 1:00 hangtod 2:00 hapon. Dinhi lamang sa DYAR 765 SMNA Radio Cebu.